Hello, everyone. We are going to be covering credit cards today, and many people will go ahead and either see a credit card as an angel or a credit card as a demon. And if you are in the batch that see credit cards as a demon, I am hoping that after this presentation today, you will see it a little bit more as an angel. Okay, so let's get into it. All right, so in our first discussion, we had covered an overview of everything that later on I'd said that we would get into things a bit deeper. And today we are going to be highlighting this area. We are going to be highlighting the use of credit cards, not so much the loyalty rewards right now, but really the use of credit cards. And as I said, credit cards is a replacement, not an extension. And this is what we're going to be hammering into your head is it's a replacement, not an extension. Right? So as we go along, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, what is credit cards? Credit cards are a short-term loan from a financial institution to facilitate purchases and other forms of payment. There are two key takeaways here. We have short-term and loan. Those are the two key takeaways, right? You want to It is not that the financial institution is giving you money. There is nothing that is given, right? They're loaning you the money so that you can make those purchases or other payments, and you will have to pay it back within a short period of time, right? So the important thing to note here and to remember is that every time you're using your credit card, you're actually initiating a loan, right? So you're actually going into a loan with the financial institution, okay? Now, what are the benefits of a credit card? Well, one, it increases your credit rating. It gives you the ability to earn points and rewards. It's accepted almost everywhere, right? So anytime you're traveling or those things, just about everywhere will accept Visa and MasterCard. American Express, not so much, but Visa and MasterCard, just about everywhere they're accepted. The final one is you have the option to pay buy now, pay later, which is the main feature of a credit card. You go ahead, you make your purchase now, and then at the end of the month or next week or whenever, you go ahead and you pay that money back, right? So this ties into short-term loan, right? Anytime you see buy now, pay later, it's a loan. Just get that in your head. Remember, short-term loan, buy now, pay later, works together. Okay? What is the disadvantage? Now, there might be more than one disadvantages of credit cards, but I'm focused on the main one and the one that everyone will agree or may agree that it is a big disadvantage. And what is that? Interest. Okay? Interest makes everyone scream when you have to deal with the interest. And the interest can become a slippery slope very quickly. You actually have reports of people who have committed suicide and all those things, mainly because they get stuck in the interest trap, right? So I consider the credit cards have one disadvantage, and that is interest. How does interest work? Well, interest begins accruing from the date of purchase. That means if you go and you buy a soda today, use your credit card, interest is going to start accruing from today, right? And what will happen is that it accrues in the background and then becomes realized on your invoice date. When the bill is actually generated, that is when the interest is realized. Okay? Now, you have some cards that if you go ahead and pay your bill late, interest will increase on your purchases. And that can also be a killer. And so what happens is after a while, you feel as though you're paying interest on the interest as you get deeper and deeper into this hole. And so with that, once you reach to that point, everybody's starting to cry, right? Everybody is crying. Now, you see here, don't be a revolver, and you're seeing a gun. Yes, yes, we're not promoting violence here. It's not in the context as which you're seeing. But what I'm saying is don't be a revolver, right? And let's go into what is a revolver. A revolver is a term that was actually coined by the financial institutions from in the beginning when they first introduced the credit cards. And it describes a person who's only making the minimum payment and therefore paying the maximum interest each month, right? So if you're making minimum payments, you're incurring maximum interest, and so they call that a revolve because you're almost coming like a revolving door. It's a payment that's going to keep coming up, keep coming up, keep coming up, and making a minimum payment is not doing anything to the balance, and they know this, right? So they set a minimum payment essentially just to say, oh, you are in good standing, but you're not really doing anything to your balance. And for these reasons, banks love you because that is how banks make their money. When it comes down to credit cards, they don't make any money off of the points. They don't make any money off of the cashback. They make minimal money off of the finance charges that some cards will say you pay an annual finance fee of X amount and so forth. That's minimal. Where they make the bulk of their money is on this interest payments that's coming through each time. And so if you are a revolver and only making minimum payments, then that means that for years and years and years to come, they can count on you for that steady income on their part. So I'm saying don't do that. Banks make enough money. Don't contribute to unnecessary things. What I'm saying you should be is a deadbeat. No, not homeless, and no. There's a different type of deadbeat, right? And so let's talk about the deadbeat. Deadbeat, this is another term. Both of the terms, revolver and deadbeat, really were coined by the financial institutions when they had set up the whole credit card thing. Now, the deadbeat is the opposite of the revolver. The deadbeat is one who essentially gets charged no interest because he's either paying off his bill right on time, in full, early, and those type of things. And so they call him a deadbeat. Why do they call him a deadbeat? Because he's not paying interest. He's only repaying his purchases, right? And so because he's only repaying his purchases, he's not paying interest. They're not getting any income off of him, right? Minus the annual finance charge, which many of them, it's minimal, right? But as I said, interest is really where they make their money. And so if you're not getting charged interest, then guess what? They're not making any money. And when they're not making any money, they will not love you very much, right? They're not going to love you because you're not going ahead and giving them and helping them get those massive profits that they love so much, right? Now, thing to note with the revolver and the deadbeat. The credit card companies for a revolver will go ahead and will the thing to note with the revolver is that the credit card company will go ahead and will increase your limit And you will say, wow, it must be because I'm doing so well why they're increasing my limit. No, not necessarily. They realize that because you're only making minimum payments, you're over leveraged, right? And so they're saying if we give this person an increase in limit, they're going to quickly use up that money, push it, push up that limit, and in doing so, they're going to go ahead and hit you with higher interest, right? And with that higher interest, more money in their pocket, more money in their pocket. Now, for a deadbeat, they do increase the limit, but they're increasing the limit more as a tactic because at the end of the day, they want you in that interest trap. And so they will increase the limit, hoping that at some point it will entice you to start to become over leveraged and fall in that trap. So be careful of that. When they go ahead and increase limits, it's not that you're oh so nice and those things. They're thinking of their bottom line and how best can they increase their bottom line and reach their goals. All right. So how do you be a deadbeat? Well, first, remember, and we had talked about this at the beginning of the presentation, your credit card is a replacement of your cash, not an extension. If you have $500 as your credit limit, it is not $500 in addition to what you already make. Don't think of it that way. Think of it with every purchase that you make on your credit card. Look and see how is it that you are going to pay that balance back, right? And it should not be, oh well, I'll pay it back at the end of the month, I will make part payment and then I should be okay. No. If you went ahead and bought a pair of jeans today, do you have the money in your bank account that could have bought your jeans today? Do you have the residual money off of your investments that could have bought your jeans today? If the answer is yes, then cool. Go ahead, make that purchase. If the answer is no, do not make that purchase, right? It's a replacement, not an extension. Get a credit card that has a purpose, right? There are three main reasons why you get a credit card: building credit, earning cash back, or earning other rewards such as travel miles, right? Use these to your benefit. This is another thing that credit cards companies use to try and entice you. And if you're a revolver, it will work. You will use it as an extension and you'll get yourself in problems. If you are a deadbeat, you won't be getting hit with the interest hole, and at the same time you will be able to maximize these other benefits, right? Building credit, it is not only based off of the use of your credit card but the available balance when the credit agency is running your credit report, right? When the credit agency is going ahead and generating your credit report, they're going to look and see what is your available balance. If your available balance is small, you're going to see your credit score go down. So you want to always make sure you have a high available balance, right? A majority of your card is in available balance, right? You have those that say, oh, I'm just going to get a credit card and put it down and only use it for emergencies. That's pointless. You have a credit card that could go ahead and earn you all of these rewards, all of these points on things that you would normally have to pay full price on, right? You have people out there that most of the time when they're traveling for free because they've earned travel miles. You have people who are going ahead and making these extra purchases and those things because they're getting the cash back. Use the perks of what the credit card is giving you, right? The next thing, and it ties into the whole building of credit part. Remember when I said that when they go ahead and they're running your credit report, they're going to look and see how much available do you have at that time. Now, if you do this, you should always have a decent amount of available. and that is pay your credit card early, right? Remember when I said that credit card, the interest accrues daily? Now, if and then is realized on the date that the bill is generated. Now, if you pay off those purchases before the bill is generated, there is no interest that is going to get realized, right? So with this, if you go ahead and make your payments early, you actually do earn brownie points because you're reducing the amount of interest that you're paying for that period. So pay a bill early, often. Sometimes you may go ahead and make a purchase, and the moment that you make the purchase, by the time you reach home, you've made that payment, right? So those are very good habits to have, right? And those will keep you being a deadbeat. No, you say, Warren, that's all great. But if I was just getting a credit card, I would definitely try some of your ideas and those things. But I already have a credit card and it's maxed out. I've been a revolver for the past year. That's the best I can do. So I guess there's no chance for me to be a deadbeat. No, it's never too late to start to become a deadbeat. Here's how you have to do it. You have to change the way how you pay and view your bill. Now, the only part of your credit card bill that is extra is the interest. So when you bought those pair of jeans, you bought the pair of jeans. When you bought those pair of jeans, right? You went ahead and you paid $20. Now, if you pay back $20, all you're doing is paying back the price of the jeans, right? Now, if you go ahead and wait for interest to accrue, it might end up being $22. When you pay those $22, it's going to be $20 for the jeans, $2 for interest. Interest is the only extra payment that is made. So when you're looking at your credit card bill and it's all high, if you subtract the interest that's accrued, that's actually the purchases that you made. That is why it's important to know it is a replacement, not an extension. Okay? The next thing is, think of the bills that you currently pay that you could pay with a credit card. Your utility bills, light bill, gas bill, telephone bill, right? All of the other bills that you have. Look at them and say, could I pay those, or have I been paying those using my debit card? If you have, then here's what you do. With your budgeted amount, and normally when you budget for the peak periods, right? With your budgeted amount, add your current interest payment. You can look on your last bill. Add your current interest payment to it, and that is what you go ahead and pay on your credit card. Now you say, but Warren, if I do that, how am I going to pay my bills? You turn right around, because you've made that payment on your credit card. That amount is now available on your credit card. So you can turn right around and pay your bills with your credit card. Earn the points on the bills that you on those bills that you're paying, right? And essentially what will happen is, remember, you budgeted for the peak periods. Now when it's not peak periods, your bills are going to be lower. If you're still making that same payment and your bills come up lower, the balance is going to reduce your bill, right? So each time that your bills come up less than your budgeted amount, so each time that you go ahead and your bills come up less than your budgeted, you're increasing your available balance, right? So that's how that works. Yes, I just blew your mind, right? You're like, what? Now, we're going to run through. I said it before, and this slide actually covers it. The amount used for interest is from your current bill, which would be the highest it is, because right now your bill is maxed out. So you're paying maximum interest, right? The amount of your other bills should be based on your budgeted amount, not the actual, unless the actual is higher than your budgeted. So if you budgeted $300 for light and this month is $350, then the amount that you're going to include into how much you're going to pay is going to be the $350, not the $300, right? Then what you're going to try and do is to see if you can make the payments earlier than your bill date. Don't wait until they send you the bill to then say, oh, I need to go pay my credit card, right? If you can pay before the bill date, then that'll be good. Remember, we had addressed that earlier on in the presentation, that you earn brownie points when you pay early, right? And so that is how you do it. So payment is made, you make your payment earlier, right? And so when your bills are less than your budgeted, you are going to reduce your balance and increase your available. And this is going to be done over a period of time. So each month you're going to make a set payment. Don't look and say, oh, my interest has gone down and so I can pay less. No, pay the same amount each time. For the first month or two, you might feel it or whatever, and it might seem inconvenient, but don't stop. Continue doing it. After a while, it's just going to come in like regular routine. This is something I do. The moment I get paid, I'm not looking at, oh, what was my last credit card bill. I don't look at that. I go straight in and I pay a set amount every single month. And then I come back, pay my utilities, and then I'm golden. And I'm earning points off of it, which definitely helps out at the end of the year when it's Christmas time and you have all of this extra spending. You can start cashing in on some of these points, right? So that is important, right? So now that your brain is really trying to wrap around everything that I said, right? Take a look at your current credit card bill. Take a look at your other bills that you can use a credit card and pay, right? And just give it a try. You know, this is something that I've done, and I started doing it from January. And this is now May, at the end of May, and I've increased my credit limit, my available balance quite a bit, you know, because it is going to start increasing exponentially because you've gone into this mode where you're no longer using credit cards for every single thing because it's now a replacement, right? So if you don't have the money, then you don't use the credit card. Then you try and pay the bill earlier to reduce interest payments. You're paying much more than what the minimum balance is going to say, because remember, you're tacking on the cost of your other bills on top of it. So you're not even concerned with what they're saying is the minimum balance. And so each time it will just tick down, tick down, tick down on your overall balance, increasing your available balance, and you will be well on your way to becoming a deadbeat. Okay, so that's my take on how I deal with credit cards, and I hope that it was helpful for you. And if you liked it, if you liked it, go ahead, leave a comment in the comment box. I will continue to upload these presentations each week, and be sure to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And thank you so much for your support. You know, we're trying to grow a community where we're all helping helping each other. I'm not perfect on this journey. There are times I falter. And so it's good to have a community that will support you even during the times that you messed up and you're trying to get back on the boat. All right. Thank you, guys.